From Radio DePaul, Chicago's college connection.
My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love. It is his passion.
I'm Michael Cera, and human skin is my passion.
I learned to feel things I've never felt before. Love, jealousy, passion for disemboweling.
Look at all the passion on that wall.
Well, jazz flute has always been a small passion of mine.
It's a bathroom.
It's not just a bathroom, David, it's a passion project.
My passion project. Destroying someone else's passion project.
This is Passion Project with your host, Peyton Basden.
Guys, I'm looking at my watch right now, and I'm checking the time, and I'm pretty sure it's that time of the week when Passion Project comes back around and says, hey, what's up, y'all? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name's Peyton. I'm the host of Passion Project, and we're back. Another week, another chance, another day to explore the interests of other human beings. And we've got one other human being here today. What's up?
Hey, Peyton. It's Lucy. Yes, I've worked with Peyton a few times before. Third time's the charm, I hope.
We'll see.
It usually crashes and burns.
We're trying so hard to stay afloat today.
I know. In coffee, we're staying
afloat
in coffee.
That's, guys, guess what? Guess what the big topic is today? Starts with a C, ends with an E, has an off in between.
Lots of double letters in there.
Couldn't
play it on Wordle.
No, you couldn't. Fun fact, today's tip, you cannot play coffee on Wordle.
On Wordle.
One extra letter.
Yep.
So don't try it next time, please, or else it won't go well.
Awesome.
So, Lucy, before we dive into the proverbial espresso, tell me a little bit about yourself. How would you define your essence?
My essence, I would say I'm a bright, robust flavor.
Ooh.
Whoa. With high levels of caffeine.
Oh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And with a lot of creamer added in, but for real, I'm a freshman comedy arts major, and I love to drink coffee a lot. I used to work at Starbucks Incorporated, and in my year of working there, I learned a lot, and my friend calculated once how much I've spent on coffee, and I had to hang up because I couldn't hear how much it was, because I know it is thousands of dollars. But it's worth it. It's sweet. It's nice. It's nice to have something in the morning. Makes me feel good about my day. I need it.
You need coffee.
Yeah.
Would you recommend, let's say somebody approaches you on the street.
Oh, yes.
Would you say it's wise for them to talk to you before you've had your coffee?
Oh, I would say no. If I, on the street, I'm probably not. I love to hand out compliments to people when I mean it. I just talked to Hannah Anderson about this, actually. But if I see someone on the street and I really like their skirt, I'm going to tell them. But if I haven't had my coffee yet, no one's hearing anything from me. And I have 9:40 classes. I've had them all year, and I need coffee before that, because otherwise, if I don't have something to sip on, then I'm about to scowl, you know? I'd have no patience.
The audience is yearning to know.
Yeah.
Did you have coffee this morning? And if so, what kind?
I did have coffee this morning.
Ooh.
I had some earlier. I had a latte. With hazelnut syrup in it. Yeah, and it was iced. I'm a big iced coffee drinker. I know that's controversial to some in the coffee community. But I will drink iced coffee in the winter. My hands will be so cold, but I'm
It's
just
worth
not
it.
a hot coffee person. I'll do like an espresso shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think con panna is when they put some whipped cream on it. I like that. If you ever go to Italy, Lavazza there, they do that, and I think they make their own whipped cream because it's like artisanal.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
And it's so good. But you'll never catch me doing like a black coffee. Maybe at a diner.
When you're just like, hey, I'll take my cup of joe for the morning.
Yeah.
You talked about very briefly at the beginning of that statement, the coffee community. Let's dig into that, because there are a lot of quote unquote coffee purists, a lot of coffee enthusiasts who say, oh, here is the right way to do coffee. I know people who will only do their coffee one specific way every single day, and they're like, this is the best way. What do you think is either like, what's your preferred coffee? Like, what's your number one? Or like, what have you to say to the coffee community, or the quote unquote coffee purists who dictate how other people should take their coffee?
Coffee is for everybody. Not one coffee is the same, just like no two people are the same. I think it's up to individual preference. I will shame you if you get a hot coffee in the summer. But that is all lighthearted fun. I think people who I do fall into that trap. I would say a little bit. I think I like a sweet coffee, but I'm not going to go overly sweet. I think a lot of especially like Starbucks secret menu stuff I've seen in the past, all sugar, like all milk, basically. I think that I like an espresso taste. I'm a big espresso person. I'm not really a big coffee bean person, which could be controversial. Although I do love a good cold brew.
Ooh,
I think this is great. I get to share my suggestions. I think cold brew is wonderful, and I will drink a black cold brew. But someone who gets sugar and milk in their cold brew, can still like coffee. I think maybe we should, as a society, not be so dependent on sugar to that extent. And I do start my day out with sugar, but I think there are wrong ways or ways that aren't good for the soul. Maybe not. Maybe they're good for the soul, but they're not good for the heart and the liver.
That's incredibly profound.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. As you mentioned earlier, you worked at Starbucks for a time.
I did. 2021 to 2022.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you've got a semi-significant chunk of experience.
Yes.
What would you say your big takeaways were from working at such an establishment?
Well, Starbucks is really big on iPad training. So
awesome.
I learned that you have to do modules and learn about the beans, which is good because you want to be a knowledgeable partner if people have questions for you. But really all you need to know is how to make the drinks. But I did learn a lot about coffee beans and how roasting them. Some I know their blonde roast that is light. I think it's a lighter roast, obviously. So it has a higher caffeine content, and it's more of a bright taste to it, which is why a lot of the shaken espressos there have used blonde, because it pairs well with caramel and sweeter flavors. And I learned they get them from all sorts of regions, and really it's not a bean, it's part of this coffee cherry, the inside, and then it's green, and then they roast it, and it brings out the flavor in it. And then there's some whole process for decaf, but I think decaf is stupid. I don't know. I've got to learn. I don't know. Maybe when I'm pregnant or something, I'll learn to love it.
Now,
But-
as a pure decaf drinker myself,
Oh, really?
yeah, I was gonna ask what your thoughts on decaf were, but thank you for sharing. It just really affirms to me that I drink coffee for the love of coffee, not for the caffeine.
I get. Yeah. So why do you drink coffee then?
And I trick myself into being like, oh, I'm healthier, but then I put in 4 pumps of liquid cane sugar, to make it really tasty.
What's your go-to order?
I'm a Dunkin' person. What I've been revolving back and forth through now. Today, this morning, I got the Dunking's Hazelnut Heartthrob coffee.
Wow.
Which is hazelnut and caramel. But then sometimes I'll go for the raspberry mocha as well, which is better hot than it is cold, I've found. Also had a butter pecan on Saturday that changed my life.
Wow.
So all good stuff. I love when they put out crazy seasonal flavors like birthday cake. And I'm like, wow, I'm drinking Dunkin' Donuts birthday cake coffee. I don't know how to feel about it. And it's usually good.
Yeah.
The Girl Scout Thin Mints one was really good.
I believe it.
Speaking there's a lot of discourse surrounding your preferred coffee brand.
Yes.
You worked at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Are you a Starbucks drinker? Do you dabble in Dunkin'?
I don't really dabble in Dunkin' too much. Peyton and I were discussing this before the show. I think people view like Starbucks as so much classier. Sorry, I'm like not talking into the mic enough. They view it as so much classier than Dunkin' because of like font and color usage, and I think Starbucks's advertising is bad. If you've ever seen a commercial, you're like, this is not great. And I do commend Dunkin' for using Ben Affleck,
his chosen hazelnut heartthrob coffee, which I had this morning.
Yes.
I drank Ben Affleck's coffee.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. But I also had a friend who worked there, and it's just like, I think the companies hold themselves to different standards. But Starbucks is kind of a little more fake about it, and Dunkin' is real upfront about what it is, and I respect that. But I've been really trying to get into like the local, especially now that I don't live in Nebraska anymore. There's a it's called Scooters is a chain there. That's fine, but it's kind of like midway between Dunkin' and Starbucks, I would say. But there wasn't a lot of local coffee there, so now I've been really trying to explore. And I have a roommate who is like probably an even bigger coffee fanatic than I am, and she's big into exploring. I've been to the Understudy. Okay. Pretty good. I enjoy that. Printers Row is right over here, really close to Seton Hall. I enjoy them as well. They do student discount.
Big win.
Yes.
Big win.
I really, most of the time I go to the Bourgeois Pig.
Ooh, classic.
Classy. Yeah, it's good. And I get a latte. I like a good latte with like, I like caramel. I like sweet flavors. Vanilla is sometimes boring. I don't know. I'm probably not going to go get a vanilla latte. Okay. But I'm also not like a really like fruity person in that sense either. Like I don't have any interest in trying like a honey or lavender syrup. I don't know how your feelings on those. I like a good mocha too.
See, I love pairing my mocha with a little fruity flavor, like throw the raspberry on there, blueberry.
Oh,
getting
wow.
On like chocolate covered strawberry type vibe type, you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
All fantastic selections on your part.
Thank you.
We live in a great area for coffee, and we live in a great time for coffee.
I know, we really do.
A bit of a coffee renaissance, if you will.
I do also enjoy the bean though. The bean in the sack, I get every morning before class. I like to get an oat milk iced latte. And I don't get any sweetener in it. I don't. And I'm really proud of myself for that. So, and they're really friendly there.
Yeah.
And they know I have a mason jar that I bring, and the guy sees me and he laughs at me a little bit. I think it's like a friendly laugh, not like oh, this girl's whack. But and then he holds his hand out for my mason jar. He knows.
That's awesome.
So and I give it to him.
Huge props to you for engaging in sustainable practices.
Yes, and I try to bring a reusable plastic straw with me everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Joe got mad at me. Or not mad at me, but I think he's a little unsettled with me because I like to open carry, which is not with a weapon. But I don't always put like a lid on my coffee, especially my mason jar. Or like if I go to Bourgeois Pig, they hand it to you without a lid, and I just take it from there because I'm like, less plastic.
Right.
You know?
For our listeners, Joe was our guest last week, so feel free to go back and listen to that episode and make a judgment about him now, having more information.
He's really judgy.
He is. Something to know about that guy. But yeah, so there's so much coffee everywhere. Yes. Coffee has kind of taken over, to a certain degree, the cultural zeitgeist. If I'm going on a casual first date, we're getting coffee.
Oh yeah.
If I'm going for a business meeting, we're getting coffee.
Yeah.
I'm going for myself because I got nothing to do. I'm getting coffee.
Right.
What do you think is, or what do you suspect is perhaps the reason why we as a society have sort of surrounded our activities and allowed coffee into our daily lives?
I think, I think it all boils down to capitalism. But I think there's such a pressure to be doing stuff all the time, and constantly have energy for things. And I think a lot of people don't get enough sleep. So rather than turn to drugs, which caffeine is kind of a drug, especially to LDS, but I think people turn to coffee. It's cheap, depending on where you go.
Yeah, it's widely available.
Yeah, and coffee's been around for, I think, 500 years.
Oh, wow.
It's been around for
a while,
but I think it was discovered in the 1500s. But yeah, I think like with the movement of people into the workforce, like they need energy.
They need their coffee.
Yeah, they need their coffee.
Coffee.
And then probably like, I think the 2000s with all the new marketing availability that it produced, like, yeah, coffee companies could really take off, and now it's so mainstream.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, can't have without my coffee. And
exactly.
Like, yeah, and then I was definitely influenced by media to start drinking it. So I was in middle school and I was like, Mom, can you take me to get coffee? And so I was like a pre-Sephora 10-year-old. But yeah, and it also, I think it makes people feel grown up. And we need dopamine, so we don't need it, but like
we like it a lot.
Yeah, there's
we really like it.
Cultural dependency on it, so I think that's why people are so fixated on it. I think my life would probably be better without coffee every day.
Interesting.
I think I'd save money and probably future heart problems.
All right.
But I think sometimes life is so hard that you just need something to pick you up.
Need a little cup of joe, need a little coffee.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not even about the energy that it's going to give me. It's just about having something to do and feel productive.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's that over there? Oh, somebody's passing a basketball. Got it. Lifting up one foot, turning over, pivot to a new conversation.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that was really cool and smooth. Do you ever brew at home? Do you ever make your own coffee? What does that look like?
First quarter, I was really into Caffè Bustelo, which is instant espresso. Very good, actually. My dad got me onto it. It's just you do it's like powder, and then you mix it with water, and it's like a little espresso shot. So I was doing that and doing some oat milk with that. And then like at home, my mom has an espresso machine, which is really cute. But I need to find the right milk combination for that, because I haven't found the perfect bean milk combination. But I really should take advantage of that espresso machine, because it's like, it's right there
cool.
for me.
It's right there.
But my dream is to one day have a really like fancy espresso machine on my countertop in my home.
Yeah.
And I make myself espresso shots, iced lattes from home.
Awesome.
I would really like that one day.
Awesome. You brought up another very large point of contention in the coffee community.
Wow.
Preferred milk.
Oh, let me speak. I think milk needs to be, for coffee, it should be creamy. So, almond milk just does not cut it for me. I think it's too watery. And also almond milk is really bad for the environment. I'm lactose intolerant. So I'm really into dairy alternatives. I was on the soy milk train for a while, but I got off of that. I was consuming it mostly at Starbucks, of course, when I worked there. But it's so full of added sugar that I was like, I gotta get out of here. But I think that has a nice creamy consistency. I'm not a fan of cashew milk. I think that's weird. I've never really tried macadamia milk, but my roommate says it's really good, and I assume it would be creamy. I think skim milk is too thin, like almond milk. 2% is like fine. It's the standard for a lot of places. So is whole milk. I think if I did drink dairy, I would try to go for whole milk because it is creamy. But I'm really set with oat milk. And there's a lot of contention around it, and like people saying it's not good for like your glucose levels. I know. It's like, so, but it's so creamy, and it really, like, that's what you need in a latte.
Of course.
And I think also like cappuccinos, that's great too, like great for frothing with that. And what else uses milk?
So many things. Where can you can get milk from most things. You can make milk out of a lot of things also.
Yeah. Maybe goat's milk would be good.
You can try goat milk coffee. That would have an interesting flavor.
That will be the next passion project.
Goat milk coffee.
Yeah.
Taste test live. Something to look forward to. Lucy, our time is nearly up.
Wow. It flew.
It flew, just like the birds in the sky. It flew. Any closing thoughts for our audience about coffee? Words of wisdom.
I think stick to your gut with coffee. Try to be responsible with it. It's best, get a reusable cup. Take it to places where you can put it in there, because I think the coffee industry is so wasteful. So if you can do something to combat that, that's freaking awesome. But yeah, drink coffee and have a great day.
Heck yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. Continue to be awesome, audience. We'll see you soon, real soon. Maybe in a week or so.
Wow.
Who's to say? Thank you so much, Lucy.
Thank you, Peyton.
It's been a pleasure. We will catch you on the flip. Have a great week.
Bye.